Welcome, Right Riders. Thank you so much for joining me for today's live stream. If you're catching us on the replay, we're sorry we missed you, but thanks for coming. Images on a budget was the topic of a recent video comment that I received. Shout out to viewer Aaron Woodyear for asking about finding images for cheap. Majority of our viewers are self-publishing books with pictures, whether they're looking for book cover images, low content images, no content images, or even picture book images. So regardless of the scenario, today I'm going to share with you where to get images on a budget. But first, here's a question for you. Where do you think's the best site for cheap images? Let me know in the chat and in the comments below. Let's see you all's in the house. If you're lurking, I love my lurkers. Make sure that you just throw a little emoji up there. Let me know that you're here. I see Katrina's in the house. Glad to have you here. Okay, so obviously this list isn't going to be exhaustive, and I'm sure there are some places for getting images on a budget that didn't make my list. So again, make sure that you share your favorite places for getting images cheap. Now, just to be clear, when I say these are some of the best sites for cheap images, I'm referring to the cost of the images and not the quality. So really, I should probably say where to find good images for cheap. Also, make sure regardless of which site you get your images from, that you always check the licensing. So first, since everyone loves free, let me cover some sites where you can go for downloading free images. Now, all the sites that I list, I'm going to have the links down in the show notes below, so don't worry about having a pen and paper ready. Number one, Pixabay. Now, Pixabay, I've shown plenty of videos where I use Pixabay. This is one of the main free sites that I use. Number two is Pexels. Now, some people say that Pexels and Pixabay seem to have the same images, and there's quite a few similarities. One being because the images are free, that the artists actually go to numerous sites and upload them. But also, they have the same parent company. As of a few months ago, Canva actually bought both companies. So Pixabay and Pexels are all owned by Canva right now. So if you use Canva, which again is free, you'll also see some of the same images. Number three is FreePic. FreePic.com. Again, free images, and you should go check and see which ones have images that you may be interested in. Number four, Burst by Shopify, and that's Burst, B-U-R-S-T. And again, they're owned by Shopify. So you can just go to burst.shopify.com and you can check that out. Now, number five, I'm going to have to give a shout out to Rachel Harrison's son because I'd never even heard of this company. And this site, it's called VectEasy. And if you've heard of VectEasy before, let me know in the comments and in the chat. It was something, obviously by the name, they have a lot of vector images. And I'd never even heard of them. So again, shout out to Rachel Harrison's son for introducing me to that in one of her videos. Number six, Unsplash. Now this is a great site for high quality photos. But if you're wondering where to find vector images, they won't be on this site. They solely work with photos. Number seven, Reshot. This site was built for startups and freelancers. So you may find images here that you won't find elsewhere. Now, if you're looking for beautiful, realistic, free food pictures, then you're going to want to go to our number 8 spot, which is Foodsy's Feed. This is one of those sites, again, that I had never heard of, but I don't really work with a lot of realistic food type pictures. But if you're interested, again, they're free. Number 9 is Gratisography. I knew I was going to butcher this name. Gratisography. They pride themselves on having, quote, quirky, creative, and always free photos. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then you want to check that site out. And number 10 on the list of free sites is freestocks.org. Again, all 10 of these are places that have images for free. Now, as I've stated in previous videos, The biggest downside to using free images is that they're readily available and therefore extremely common in the marketplace. So if you have allotted at least some funds for acquiring images, I strongly suggest trying out some of these paid sites. If you plan your books ahead of time, you can actually make out really well with some of the deals that they offer. Now, if you use some of the free ones, that's fine too, but make sure that you do follow one of the videos that I've done where I show you how to take images that were free and modify them and make a scene so that way they're not just the sole stock image. So here are some good options for paid stock image sites. Number one, it's not going to be a surprise, everybody's heard of it, Shutterstock. This is probably the most well-known option. It's considered a premium stock image site and therefore does come with a higher price point. Number two is Deposit Photos. Now this is my preferred paid site. They have really good pricing point, and if you pick up an AppSumo deals that they have, they usually do it a couple times a year, then you can really get it for a steal. I think I've got 200 downloads and it cost me a little over $100. So yeah, absolutely. And fun fact, in addition to being able to purchase images on Deposit Photos, if you sign up for their email list, they'll actually email you every week free images, vectors, and even videos. So again, you don't want to sleep on Deposit Photos. Number three, iStock. It's similar to Shutterstock in that it's considered a premium image site, and again, the price point reflects that. Number four, 123RF. The RF stands for real, what is it? I had it, I don't know, look it up. Let me know if you know what the RF stands for. I thought it was royalty free, but it's not. It's a real something. Now you can get credits for less than $1 an image on this site. I think the cheapest package they have is 40 images for $39. So again, that's a really good deal. But like I said before, regardless of whether you get the free or you get the paid, you want to make sure that you check the licensing. A lot of these will say either for personal use only, or, and this is something that you may notice that it says Creative Commons or good for commercial use or whatever, so you think you're free. But make sure that you pay attention to whether or not there are any restrictions on number of prints that you can use, because a lot of them will say it'll be free up until you sell 500 copies or 5,000 copies, and then after that you have to get an extended license. So make sure that you take a look at that as well. Now, I do have one more site, and if you think that 123RF deal was a great deal, I have one more paid site that will literally blow your mind. But first, what types of books would you use these images for? You're going to use them for picture books or book covers maybe no content, low content. Let me know again in the chats or in the comments. And again, I'm going to head over to the comments real quick, and then I do have one more paid site that is, I stumbled on this, and it is an amazing deal. Let's see. Andy W's in the house. I'm glad you caught the live as well. Can't Stop Lying. Glad to have you here. I love these emojis. Great tips. Thank you. Kevin McGuire. Tried the maze stuff today. You'll message me later. Okay, great. Yeah, just so everybody knows, Kevin and I are working on some maze software that we're looking into. Not that we created, but that we're looking into. And if it works out well, then and it's worth the price, I will make sure that I do a video on that as well. So stay tuned if you guys are interested in doing like mazes and stuff like that, especially with the holidays coming up. Can't Stop Lying. RF could be real photo. It's not. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going, because I have OCD and this is going to drive me nuts all day if I don't look it up. So I'm going to look it up. We're going to go to 123RF. Let's see. And It doesn't show it. Let's go to Google. So I know it showed it when I looked it up yesterday. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. As soon as I find out if it's after this, I will definitely post that in the comments because that's going to drive me nuts. It's not royalty free. That's what I thought it was, but it's not. Anyway, let's see who all is in making more comments. Let's get rid of some of these. And I really can't wait to show you guys this last one. This last one was another one of those sites that I had never, like I said, I'd heard of them, but I hadn't really looked into them because I'm quite happy with Deposit Photos. The images that they have are really, really good. Like I said, I got a great AppSumo deal on it. But this next one is crazy. Kevin McGuire, RF stands for made you look. Yes, absolutely. Did make me look. Let's see. Curious. Low content, no content, especially for new unproven niche. Do you invest and buy these stock photos vectors? Or do you wait till the niche sells a few before buying the license? I'll be honest. It depends on the niche. It doesn't necessarily have to be a proven niche for me in order for me to spend a couple bucks on the photos. But that's a really good question, Andy. If I can see, by doing my niche research, especially when I use, things like Publisher Rocket, where I can see, how much the estimated purchase payment is a month off that particular keyword or whatever. And if you've seen my videos about how I use Publisher Rocket for niche research, I don't just focus on just one particular keyword. So if I see multiple keyword phrases in the same niche and they're all profitable, then I probably will spend one or two of my my credits that I have for Deposit Photos, and I'll use it for a couple books. Now, what I do, I know some people have said, do 5 or 10 books in one niche before it's proven. I usually will only do somewhere between 1 and 5. 2 or 3 is usually what I'll do. But now once I see even one sale, then I'll double down on it. So, that's a really good question. But yeah, so I have used my credits for covers, for images for covers that I personally haven't proven in that particular niche. Also, don't sleep on these free sites. As long as you're able to do some of the things that I've shown in my other video where I show you how to take these free vector images and make an entire scene on it, you can take free images and make it completely unique and still make a really, really good cover. The other thing is it depends on how much you're willing to spend. You can get, if you don't want to make the cover, and I honestly, on my no content, low content books, I still make all the covers, but those are the only covers I make. All of my other, my nonfiction, my fiction, all of that, I have a person from Fiverr that does all of my images, and she does a really good job, and it usually costs me anywhere between $5 and $20, and the $20 one will be for the ebook, paperback, and audiobook covers. Completely different covers. Similar images, but different covers. As opposed to just taking, a little fun fact, if anybody out there has audiobooks, one thing you absolutely do not want to do, and you learn from my mistake, is you don't want to take your already existing ebook cover or paperback cover and manipulate it to where, shrink it and whatever, depending on the size, to make it fit in that square that they want for ACX. That will just, it doesn't give the quality of an image that's going to get people's attention when they're searching on Audible or wherever they're getting their audiobooks from. So take the time to get an audiobook cover made, either make it yourself or have your cover designer design one for you. there are ways to take the image you already have and make it fit without stretching it or anything like that. And I've done that for a couple of my books. But the easiest thing time-wise is to just have a separate cover made. You have some more sites for me, Christopher. That is great. Yeah, fill them up. Let me know, because I could have. This could be an hour long if I went through all the different sites. I even went online and looked up sites that I'd never heard of, and I'd seen lists, and there were sites that I hadn't heard of before, and what I used to narrow down my list was they either had to have been sites that I have personally used, or that at least I know someone who could give a good reference about that site, because I didn't want to give you guys a site and steer you in the wrong direction, come to find out that the quality of the images aren't up to par. So I wanted to make sure that I did enough due diligence to give you the best options that I could. But yeah, if you've got sites that you know of that have good quality images, let me know. Whether they're paid or if they're free, whichever. Awesome, thanks for the tip. I asked because the cost starts going up real quick if the niches don't sell at all. And you say you do 50. Unlikely, but always possible. I do 50 what? Do 50 images? Do 50 books? What are you talking about, Andy? I think what you mean is, like, if you do 50 images or 50, yeah, I wouldn't do 50 books in a niche that isn't proven for you. Absolutely not. That's a waste of your time, and that's just putting. There are bulk uploaders and all this other stuff now, that people are using, and I'm just seeing hundreds of thousands of journals and notebooks and all this other stuff being thrown up on Amazon that aren't proven. And I look at them, and I'm not going to, I don't remember any of the particular brand names anyway, but even if I did, I wouldn't throw them under the bus. But it's like, you want to make sure that, one, quality over quantity. I've said that 100 times, and I'll say it 100 more. Quality is always going to be what sells your book. Quantity is not. There's a reason why they say, 80% of your revenue is going to come from 20% of your books out there, and it's because quality. So you have to make sure that you focus on quality over quantity. So even if I had a niche, which I've got multiple niches, but even with the niches that are proven for me, I don't put up hundreds and thousands of books in that niche. I put up the amount that I think would suffice what my users are looking for, what my customers are looking for, and if I find something that I think they would find helpful in that particular niche, but I don't have that type, whether it's a journal or an activity book or a coloring book or whatever, then yes, I will add that to my collection. But I don't, I'm not going to put, hundreds, thousands of books up in one particular niche. And like I said, I wouldn't put up more than 5 in a niche that I haven't personally proven. So even ones that I know using Publisher Rocket, that I know have potential and that it's a proven niche, I still won't do more than 5 until my books have proven themselves in that niche. So that way I start a little brand in that niche that people can, once they see one of my books, and obviously they've purchased it, so then I'll create more books in that niche. And chances are, if you're putting up quality, if someone likes one of your books, they're going to go back and find another one of your books that they'll like as well. So if I haven't proven the niche, I don't put any more than 5. Let's see. If you do 50 new niches unproven. Oh yeah, 50 different niches. Yeah, I don't focus on that many niches at once either. I do have quite a few different niches that I'm in. But what you can do is you can, like I said, I don't know if you have Publisher Rocket, and if it's not in your business model or in your budgeting right now, that's completely fine. You can still do your research on Amazon or whatever. If it's proven in general, then I would do, like I said, especially if you're going to that many different niches, maybe 2 or 3 books in that niche until you've proven yourself in it, and that will reduce the number of images that you have to buy. And then the other thing that you can do is you don't have to use all paid images. Just kind of switch things around and find out what works for that particular niche. Also look at the other books in that niche and see what types of quality images they're using. Some niches, it's literally just words and there's not a lot of pictures. Other niches, and especially if you're doing 2 or 3 in the same niche, you may actually be able to use the same image but use it in a different way, and so you're utilizing that one purchase as off in multiple ways, so you're saving yourself purchases. So if that didn't make sense, let me know and I'll try to reword it. Oh, okay. Thanks. Can't Stop Lying. It does stand for royalty free. I was wrong. Okay. It said when I went on there yesterday, it said 123 RF, and it said 2 words, and it wasn't royalty free, and the first word was real. I don't remember what the other one was, but royalty stands for royalty free. Makes sense. Great info. Thank you so much. Can't Stop Lying. I really appreciate that help. Let's see. Boo bulk uploaders. I hope they all get destroyed by Amazon. Yes, I agree, Kevin. I understand, for those of you who are on merch, I understand, merch has where you can upload different, a certain number of items at once. To me, that's different. One, let's be honest, the quality control that they have on merch is way more advanced than the quality control they're showing on books, unfortunately. Now, do I believe that that's going to change? Absolutely. I mean, it's still Amazon, but when you think of Amazon by merch, that's older and it's more established than this whole print on demand era that we're in. So eventually Amazon will catch up, and unfortunately, I don't see them taking down books like they take down shirts. That might be an interesting thing if they did, because for those of you who don't know about merch, they actually just announced a couple months ago that before it was 180 days, if you put up shirts or whatever, shirts, hoodies, and it doesn't sell within a certain length of time, they will take it off the platform. I mean, you still have it in your dashboard, but they take it off actually being sold. I think that would be nice to have for paperbacks, just to reduce the amount of, reduce the quantity that's up there. But that said, I've got really high quality shirts that are up there that just because there's so much up there haven't sold. So it does kind of sting when you have a shirt or in this case a book, that is really good quality, but it gets taken down just because no one's seen it. But that doesn't mean you can't make some tweaks and then re-upload it as a different one. So that's the only reason why I don't foresee it being used in books anytime soon, because with books you get ISBNs. I know they're giving out free ones, but someone is still paying for that, whether it's Amazon or you. And so when you do, if they were to take down the books, then someone would have to get another ISBN in order to make a variation of it and send it back up. So I'm not sure realistically if what they do for merch is actually going to work for paperback, but they'd be interested in seeing how that plays out in the future. I can think of one dude who pushes low content books very hard and has a course where he tells everyone sheer numbers are his success path. He likes to stack things. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. you can. I'm not saying that you don't want to have quantity of books out there. What I am saying is quality should always surpass quantity. Perfect example is Kelly Publish. Kelly Publish, I'm a huge fan of her channel. She's on here a lot, her and Dale, but she's doing things right. She has a ton of books out there, thousands, but she has quality books. Quality is always her number one game. And so if you can focus on quality, and once you get that quality done, you can put up multiple books. I'm fine with that. I do that myself. But again, quality over quantity every time. Love Kelly and Dale. Yeah, Kelly and Dale are great. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, Self-Publishing with Dale. He's actually got a live tonight. We're the Gruesome Twosome on Wednesdays, the Humpback Heroes. So if you want to check him out, it's at 6 o'clock. It's at 6 o'clock on Eastern time tonight. He's going to talk about how to avoid plagiarism. So check out his channel. It's Self-Publishing with Dale. Kelly Published. She goes live every Tuesday, or every Tuesday at noon. So you want to check out her site as well. Really great people. I don't just love their sites. I love them. They're really good friends of mine. So I appreciate that. And yes, absolutely love Kelly and Dale. Let's see. I wish he'd do it earlier. Got to catch the replays and miss a lot. Yeah, Kevin. The good news is he's not cutting out all the Q&A anymore like he was before. You can thank YouTube editor for that. I talked to him about that, and just the editing, cutting that out was just a nightmare for him. So he just does the timestamps, which for those of you who are watching this on the replay, I've got timestamps in here where I'm going to show you where the Q&A starts and where the content starts. Speaking of content, I'm going to get back here, but I don't want to bloviate too long. All right, I need to get to the number 5, which, I say it's number 5. It's the 5th one I'm talking about. But when you hear this deal, you might consider it the number 1 paid site. It's called Storyblocks. And they have an option that's $9 a month where you can download an unlimited amount of images. Another great element is that they have indemnity coverage. And if you don't know what indemnity coverage is, basically it means that they're so confident in their licensing that if you download an image from them and someone tries to sue you saying that it's their intellectual property, Storyblocks will actually cover the lawsuit up to $20,000. So, and I'm actually, let's see if let's have a little fun. We're going to go a little off script. We're going to do a little royalty share. That's not what I meant. We're going to do a little screen share. There we go. So here it is right here, storyblocks.com. I clicked on the pricing. I went to build monthly. Right here, $9 a month. You have unlimited downloads, photos, vectors, and illustrations. And then the standard licensing, if you hover over this, content is yours to keep and use forever, 100% royalty free. Our standard license is issued to one individual. That just means that you can't purchase, download it and then give it to me or give it to Kevin McGuire or anybody else. Let's see. It provides $20,000 in indemnity. I told you about that. Puts no restriction on production budget, and it puts no restrictions on distribution. So what I was saying earlier, how some sites may say, you can use it up to 50,000 prints. This doesn't have any of those limitations. And if you scroll down here, because I know if you look, it doesn't say anything about whether it's for personal use or commercial use, but if you scroll down just a bit more, under royalty free, it says all of our content can be used multiple times for commercial and personal projects. So keep that in mind. Again, I told you that was a great deal. I mean, $9 a month for unlimited downloads. Here, let me go back to here. So that's my 5th one. I kind of stumbled on that place. I mean, I heard of it, but when I was doing this, I was like, I've seen enough people that use it. let me go in and learn a little more. And I saw this and was like, okay, this absolutely has to make the list. Now, what I was talking about before when I said that, if you package things right and you plan ahead, if you've got multiple books that you're going to do, and whether they're children's picture books or no content, whatever, if you plan ahead and you know what images you want, and you can actually go, and most of these sites you can go and you can look at their images without signing up yet. So you can find the images you want, maybe make a little spreadsheet with the URL of all the images that you want, and then you can go and pick whatever package you want, and then you've got, especially if you get one of these that's monthly, but you don't have to sign a year contract, which most of them you don't. But if you can just basically buy it for a month and then download what you want and then leave and not pay again, then that's great, because then you can take multiple books worth of images and all download them within a 1 month period, and so you're only paying 1 month's worth of fees as opposed to stretching it out. So again, and without paying, if you've got children's books, one children's book or one picture book is going to be typically between 24 and 32 pages. So if that's 32 different images, a lot of these, like when I was saying before, that here, let me look up the list again. That the 123 RF, that it has 40 images for $39. If you're just doing one 32-page picture book, that's pretty much all for that one book. So that it's in those instances that buying either a larger bulk to cover multiple books, or doing one of these monthly programs where you pay X amount of dollars a month and you get unlimited, and then you can just download 100 images in that month, and then you can just cancel your subscription, again assuming that it's not a 1-year contract, which, like I said, the ones that I looked into, most of them are not. I can't recall whether all of them aren't, so you'll have to go and do your own due diligence, but that's what I mean by, if you plan enough books ahead of time, you can bulk download your images instead of doing it like piecemeal throughout the year. So those are my lists of free and paid stock image sites. Again, if you have any ideas of some other ones that work or that have good quality, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. Let's see. Andy W. will try to catch Dale's live tonight. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say Monday's his birthday. He's actually going to go live twice next Monday, so that's going to be interesting. Let's see. That is nice. Funds are tight, but if they have a vast selection, I may do that just to get grandfathered in so we can use them commercially. Yes, absolutely, you can use them commercially. Can't stop lying. And again, what I would do is, and I would do this regardless of what site you go to, is before you make a decision on a site, especially if it's a paid site, go browse their site and see if they have the images that will work for your book and your genre. Even if they have great images, if the images that they have don't work for your genre, then or they're overused maybe, then it's not worth you setting up an account and getting them, even if it's free. If they're not images that are going to help you, you may not be wasting money, but you're still wasting time. And to me, time is even more precious than money, because I can always make more money, but you only have so many hours in a day. And especially if you're doing this part-time like I am, and you've got a family, every moment has got to be used as efficiently as possible. So again, before you even sign up for any of these sites, I would go on to them and just search their images. Some of them, most of them have images and vectors. Places like Vecteezy only have vectors. Other places, only have photos. So it's a happy balance. Unsplash only has photos. So depending on what type of images you're looking for, then you can check out those sites. Let's see, does anybody have any other suggestions, questions, comments? Let's see. Anybody catch the how to write a children's picture book from scratch series that started going out this past Saturday? I'd love to get your feedback. Let me know what you think. I have gotten some feedback, and to be honest, everything's been positive. So I hope everybody liked it. It's not. I mean, it's going to be. It's 9 videos. It's not completely, like, it doesn't cover everything, just because that would just take too long, and I wanted to make each video as self-inclusive and in bite-sized pieces, again, because I know most of you are working on this part-time, and so I'd love the feedback, positive, negative, just so I can make it better. I do have ideas for doing a more in-depth series, course, whatever, later on down the road, if there's any interest in that. But that's later on down the road. Right now, I'm interested in giving you the value that you deserve, and what you can do today to start publishing that children's picture book. Let's see. I use free stuff on Canva, Pixabay, Adobe Spark, Unsplash sometimes. Yeah, great, Andy. Yeah, I use Canva. You've seen the videos. I use Canva and Pixabay all the time. Again, Canva now owns Pixabay and owns Pexels. So some of the images that you see on Pixabay, you may start to see show up on Canva, and vice versa. So don't be surprised if that happens. Christopher, yes, you have. You think I'm doing a great job? Okay, great. I appreciate that. I watched them all. Good stuff. Just been quiet on the videos. That's all right, Kevin. I know you're extremely busy. I'll binge watch your children's book creation series later on. Okay, Andy. Yeah, like I said, it's 9. I literally take you through my process. I even provide you with the cheat sheet that I use for all of my children's books. So I mean, it's in each one. Most of the videos are like 5 minutes or less. There are 1 or 2 that are more than that, but that's because they're actually tutorials, and I show you. And forewarning, I give you homework at the end of every single video. Let's see. Karen's in the house. Glad to have you here, Karen. Yes, love the kids' book series. Dusting off my files of ideas and enthused about starting. Fun sideline for my business content and memoir business. Yeah. My wife says I write children's picture books because that's where my maturity level peaked, and that's fine. I can handle that. I mean, I write more than children's books, as you know, but picture books are always going to be near and dear to my heart. The first book I ever wrote was 20-something years ago, and it was a children's picture book. And that's the one that actually got picked up by a publisher. And so picture books have always just been near and dear to my heart. So I take that very seriously, and a lot of people get frustrated. I know whether you're self-published or not, when you publish a children's book. At first you're really excited, and then you get really discouraged because it is a huge market, and it's kind of hard to, especially for an indie author, to get seen. And so it's very discouraging. And so that's why I wanted to give you guys the steps I take, just to try to, one, make things go quicker and more efficient, but also, you may learn things and find things that you didn't think of. Let's see. I'm worried with websites like Pixabay. Anyone can upload that. Doesn't necessarily mean the upload image belongs to the person who uploaded it. Absolutely. And if you read the fine print on sites like Pixabay, they basically say that exact same thing, that they cannot guarantee the origination of the images that they have. I mean, I can upload an image to Pixabay. That doesn't mean it was my image. And so that's why I absolutely say you need to make sure that you do your due diligence. And that's why, without a doubt, I never, ever use an image that has people in it, because yes, these models may have signed a waiver, but you don't know that for a fact. And considering the fact that these websites can't guarantee the origination of the image, therefore they cannot guarantee that that model signed off on that image. So because of that, I never use images with people in it or with people's faces. And on the rare occasion I ever will, I would blur out their face, or I would do it in such a way where that model's not visible or not recognizable. But if you notice, if you actually pay attention to the fine print on even the paid sites, they pretty much say the same thing. So keep that in mind. I mean, they have a little more a documentation, where they have documentation typically from the person that uploads it that at least covers them, saying that yes, I'm the originator of this image. But yeah, so that's a really, really good point, Andy. And that's also another reason why I manipulate the ones I do get, because especially off free sites, is one, so it stands out, because, you know, like I said, they're free, so everybody has access to them. But also, it's so it now becomes a Keith Wheeler original, as opposed to, you know, just something I got off the site. Great kids books are for all ages. I think C.S. Lewis has some kind of quote about this. Yes, Karen. I know exactly the quote you're talking about. I don't have it memorized, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, well, and I've covered this before, but, you know, the great thing about children's books is one of the few types of books where the story can get passed down from generation to generation. You know, Hunger Games may be a great book, but I'm not going to give Hunger Games to my grandkid. You know, but Cat in the Hat, my grandkids are gonna read too. You know, and so it's the nostalgia that you have from when you read that book. That's the kind of stuff that really only children's picture books can do. And I say children's picture books because, and I've mentioned this before, but children's books is actually a really, really broad topic. Most of the time when people say children's books, they mean picture books. But technically, a children's book is anything from a concept book, which is for ages like 0 to 2, all the way up through young adult books. So a young adult novel is still technically a children's book. So, and again, you know, maybe in another series or another course, I can give tips and ideas on the different, explain the different categories of children's books. But yeah, children's picture books are pretty much the only books that I can think of where they really have that nostalgia, and regardless of it surpasses age. I mean, even gender, really. I mean, there are some books that, you know, Goldilocks and Three Bears technically has a girl in it, but boys love that book too. As opposed to when you get older and you get, you know, these series with a female protagonist, you know, those tend to just be read by, like Junie B. Jones, mostly read by girls and stuff like that. So, you know, although I'll be honest, I liked the Junie B. Jones series myself when I was younger. Let's see. One of my clients worked with me to create a children's book with art she had created 20 years ago before she got MS. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I actually wrote it for my oldest daughter, who's now 22. Even more reason to check out Storyblocks. Good advice, Kevin. May just delete that stuff. I've been collecting. Safety first. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, hashtag safety first. Show your love for the great free content and thumbs up the stream. Yeah, thumbs up. Thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. You know, I want to continue to get better. So if there's anything that you think I can do better, let me know. I do plan on making a few little minor tweaks on the channel over the next few months. Right now, with fourth quarter coming up, focusing on books. But once fourth quarter hits, I'm probably going to be focusing more on making some minor exciting tweaks to the channel. Nothing major, nothing to change the content. It's all going to be the same content. but just to make it more of our channel. And I've said this 100 times. This is your channel. I'm just the host. So I want to make sure that I give that back as much as I can to you guys. So I watch your videos because you offer great info, and I'm not in the children's book niche. Great. I appreciate that, Andy. And that's one reason why, there's so many other sites out there or so many other YouTube channels that do no content books. And I do love no content and low content activity books, all of that. But again, children's books are always going to be near and dear to my heart. And so I try to keep a good balance of both, because I know that my viewers and subscribers are, they love both. And so I don't want to spend too much time on just one, which is one reason why I decided to put this whole series out all in one big, 9 days, as opposed to just putting them out once a week, because that would be 9 weeks of just children's book content, which for people who aren't into children's books, it may start to deter them, thinking that, okay, this channel is now about children's books. So I wanted to just get that series out. Plus, let's be honest, with fourth quarter coming, I wanted to better your chances of getting that children's picture book done and published before fourth quarter hits. And if I had done it just one video a week, you'd be in the middle of fourth quarter before you got to the last few videos. So, but yeah, I really appreciate that. Even thumbs down promotes the channel in search. Yes, any kind of engagement. And that's why I'll usually get 1 or 2 thumbs downs. And the first time I got it, it broke my heart. I was like, oh, what am I doing wrong? But now I love my trolls, because they're just, they're, as long as they don't get too vulgar. And the main thing is, and I normally wouldn't share this, but hey, we're family. I'm going to share it. I've banned one person. I don't care if people have a problem with me, but the first time that someone is going to say something disparaging against my subscribers or my viewers, that's when I throw down the hammer. That I'm very protective of my family, both my family and my YouTube family. So that one person got banned because they were unpleasant to the viewership, and I'm not going to deal with that negativity. So, but yes, yeah, YouTube doesn't care. So you want to give me a thumbs down? I can handle it. I've got 4 kids. I'm used to being told honestly what people think. Let's see. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Again, don't forget to go check out Dale's video tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time. He's going to talk about how to avoid plagiarism. And it may not be just what you think. Like a lot of people, I do no content books or low content books. I don't have to worry about that. You never know, because plagiarism could be. I use Grammarly, and I actually got caught by Grammarly plagiarizing my own content. Funny story for a whole nother time, but yes. So you never know what you could be plagiarizing, or whether you get ghostwriters or whatever. So check out Dale's video. He's going live tonight on his channel, Self-Publishing with Dale, and it's at 6 o'clock Eastern time. And he usually doesn't go very long. Okay, if you don't get thumbs down, then you aren't trying hard enough. Yeah, Dale. Thanks, Kevin. Dale actually told me, he's like, hey, once you start getting your thumbs down, now you know you made it. Now you know you're an influencer. So I can handle that. Just out Storyblocks, and it's $39 a month now. That's okay. Hold on, that's not right. $39 a month. You saw it. We were live. There we go. Let me refresh. Storyblocks pricing. Here, I'm gonna screen share it one more time, just so you know that I'm not joshing you. Now make sure that you're on images. So when you go to plans and pricing, there's videos, audio, and imaging. If you go to images, this is billed annually. We're going to do build monthly, $9 a month. I wonder if you did video. Let's see. We're going to troubleshoot this real quick. Maybe. I don't know, but if you do images, yeah, that's probably what you did. You're on videos. Videos build monthly is $39 a month. But if you go to images, I love my comments. Images. All right, we'll do pricing. Build, $9 a month. Glad you asked that question, because I'm sure if you ran into that, someone else was going to as well. And now everybody knows, everybody's happy, and make sure everybody's getting the wonderful deal. Yep. Let's see. Often you'll see thumbs down before the video even starts or was posted just a few minutes ago. So many people in pain and full of hate. Yeah, unfortunately, can't stop lying. I agree. I've seen that myself. I'm like, not this one, but the one last week. I hadn't even gone live yet, and I already had one thumbs down. So, and I even make sure that I try to make sure that the content that the script that I go by, and a lot of times I don't script it. I mean, I script it, but I don't like read it word for word. I script it out so that way I can put it in the description. So for those people that don't have time to watch the entire video, they can still read it and get the links or get the comments or the content that's in there. And so I'm like, okay, well, I make sure that that's all gone through Grammarly, and so there's no spelling typos. So I'm like, I don't know what you're giving me a thumbs down for, and I haven't even started talking yet. Okay. 39 is for audio and video too. Okay. Thanks, can't stop. It was on the first page. Okay. Okay. Showing $9. All right. So hopefully we're all on the same page when it comes to the pricing there. I got nervous when you said that, because I was like, okay, there's no way that they up their price that drastically. Thanks everyone. I must be looking at the video option. Good to know too. Most economical way sites will try to access the image option only. Sorry for the confusion. No problem at all, Karen. Like I said, if you ran into that, somebody else was going to have that question as well. And so I'm just glad that I was able to catch it before I left, and we were able to show everybody on screen that it's $9. She can be taught. Absolutely. All right. So I love that. You guys are cracking me up. So does anybody have any more last questions, concerns, comments? Let's see. Again, I will be here again next week, next Wednesday. If you haven't already subscribed, fun fact, or not so fun fact, 30%, only 30% of the viewers on this channel are subscribers. So if you're viewing this and you're liking it, but you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing with your life? It's free. Go for it. And hey, don't forget to click the notification, the little bell, and that way you get notified every time I put out a new video. It may not just be on Wednesdays. You never know. Like with the new series that's out there, it's every day. Again, click your notifications. If you don't want to subscribe, I understand. I still love the viewers. But if you love it anyway, it's free. All the cool kids are doing it. I mean, look at everybody that's here. They're all subscribers. They're cool. Have a great week. Yeah, you too can't stop lying. Thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate. I subscribe and I don't get notifications. Okay, Janice, is that by choice? Because I know I actually subscribe to some channels and I intentionally deselected the bell because I don't want. I just get too many notifications. But I don't want to unsubscribe to the channel because I still like their content. If it's not intentional, can't stop lying. Absolutely, hit the bell. That's under the video, and it'll be like a little bit off to the right. It's a little bell. Click it one time, it now goes dark, and then you will get notifications as long as YouTube likes me. But again, if you don't want notifications, I understand that. I'm just glad that you subscribed. I appreciate it. Let's see. Anybody else? I have hit the bell. Okay. I don't know. I will tell you, I have actually found that on some of the people that I do follow, they like I don't get notifications right away. It's something, honestly, it's something that YouTube is doing where they don't just alert everybody in that same in the first 48 hours. They kind of spread things out. I don't know why, but just so you know, every Wednesday, unless you hear otherwise, every Wednesday I will be here at noon Eastern time. I'm on Central, so I had to do the math, but noon Eastern time, and I hope to see you guys all there every single week. If you can't make it, I know you still love me. It's fine. All right. Have a good week, and remember to write right.